So this is the first of a two-part series on my motives of why I never want to touch a single cigarette in my life again. The first video will basically focus on what I want to move towards by sacrificing cigarettes for the rest of my life. What successes or positives will I be moving towards? So the first positive is that I want to free myself of the enslavement that I put onto myself. I now, after reading the book, I now understand that a nicotine addiction is more like a prison than a reward or anything else that would look like a positive. And the biological dependency, although not as severe as some drugs, is just something I want to live without. The second factor I feel positively motivated by is that I would just like my body and especially my blood oxygen system and my brain to function properly. I accuse myself of not functioning like a normal person would, with a shortness in attention span, too much thinking going on, which really isn't a good thing. I just wanted to test myself and judge myself based on the normal circumstances of myself, a human being that is not dependent on things, that external pleasures that might come in the way of the attention span or those factors that I judge in the first place. Then moving on, one important one, especially looking back at my dark age, I call it, my phase of mental illness. I accuse myself of not doing anything difficult in my life. Basically stopping and settling for all the easy parts that can get satisfied quickly. The forms of instant gratification that you hear of nowadays quite a lot. I just want to be proud of doing something that's just subjectively but recognized by everyone else as being hard, and that I would gain a lot of confidence of. I need that too. I need that confidence to move on towards doing other things, doing other difficult things. Then very much connected to respecting myself by doing something difficult. I have to state honestly that I also want to gain the viewers' respect in doing something hard, like quitting with smoking. They're so closely connected that I cannot really pinpoint which one is more important to me or more dominant. I know that I should be praising myself more instead of looking at the outside validation, but it's a factor, so I had to state it. Then, lastly, I have always felt like smoking has been a barrier to me in developing further in any way possible. So for example, physical fitness, doing more sports, has always been blocked by the idea of me smoking, because smoking and sports, they don't go together at all, right? It's like shooting yourself in the foot before you go and run a marathon. But the same would be true, for example, for brushing my teeth. I have had problems with that, and I'm quite ashamed of it, but it's a fact. And what usually would happen is I would think of brushing my teeth, but then think, okay, let's smoke a cigarette right before, so that I have an hour to deal with it, smoke the cigarette, forget about the brushing of the teeth, and forget it throughout the day. That is again a form of blocking myself and reaching a better day than I would normally do. So I see this quitting of smoking as a vessel to achieve all these other things. All these things I've been thinking of all this time. Those are also the exact things that made me miserable too. So accomplishing and moving towards something better will really help me in this case. So quitting with smoking is a catalyst. That's why this was the most important factor. That's why I started with this. So let's see if I'm right on that one.